So, have you ever really stopped to think about where football comes from? And I don't mean a date in a history book. I mean something way, way deeper. Something primal. A story that doesn't start with a rule book, but with a basic human instinct. Yeah, just forget about boardrooms and marketing meetings. This game wasn't some product cooked up in a lab. Its origin story is messy, it's chaotic, and it's just beautifully human. A total opposite to the structured, sterile world we often live in today.
It was born from that simple, irresistible urge to kick something round, to chase it, to compete for it, and then to celebrate like your life depended on it. So this isn't a story of invention, it's a story of awakening.
And that instinct, that's the real starting point. Long before the giant stadiums and the multi-million-dollar superstars, there was just this, the impulse to play. And you know what's wild? It's the exact same feeling that drives kids in a dusty lot as it does a pro on a perfectly manicured pitch.
Okay, so how do we get from that raw, pure instinct to the global machine we all watch today? Well, the journey begins where every game begins, by taking all that wonderful chaos and, for the very first time, giving it some rules.
Look, for centuries, humans have played games like this. You had Cuju in ancient China. The Roman military had Harpastum. There was even this crazy violent game called Sul, played between entire villages in medieval Europe. But the Big Bang moment, the one that changed everything, that all went down in a London pub in 1863.
And it's incredible, but it all boiled down to one simple question at the Freemasons' Tavern. Can players run with the ball in their hands? The group that shouted no, well, they went off and created football. The ones who said yes created rugby. And just like that, from a single decision, two totally different worlds were born.
And this is where the game just absolutely explodes. The Industrial Revolution creates this brand new concept for workers, organized free time. So what happens? British sailors, engineers, and merchants, they basically pack this new game in their luggage. They take it across the globe on ships and on railways, turning a simple English pastime into a universal language.
But as it spread across the world, it took on a much deeper meaning. It stopped being just a British export and became the emotional outlet for working-class people everywhere. It was a source of identity, of community, of pride.
And this passion got organized, fast. FIFA was founded in 1904 to try and manage it all. Then you get this unbelievable moment during World War I, the Christmas truce, where soldiers literally put down their guns to play football. It just proves the incredible humanizing power of the game. And then, in 1930, Uruguay hosts the very first World Cup, creating this massive new stage for national dreams and bitter rivalries.
Of course, with those huge dreams came the potential for absolute crushing heartbreak. This quote, it describes the feeling at the 1950 World Cup final in Brazil, a moment of profound national trauma. The answer, as Brazil discovered in what the world now calls the Maracanazo, was a devastating, soul-crushing yes. On that day, football proved it was so much more than a game. It was woven into the very fabric of national identity.
So as the world moves into the age of television, the game finds its first true global icons. And I mean, these guys weren't just players, they were superstars who could shape the imagination of the entire planet. First, there was Pelé. He burst onto the scene in 1958 as a teenager, and he didn't just win, he turned football into an art form. He gave the world the Jogo Bonito, the beautiful game.
Then came a revolution in thinking. Johan Cruyff and the incredible Dutch team introduced total football. It was this fluid, tactical system where every player could play every position. It basically turned the game into a high-speed chess match, all about intelligence over just brute force.
And then there was Diego Maradona. What he did at the 1986 World Cup in Mexico was just transcendent. It wasn't just about his athletic genius. For Argentina, it was about redemption. Just 4 years after the Falklands War, they faced England. In 5 minutes, Maradona scored both the infamous Hand of God goal and the goal of the century. One, an act of cunning, the other, pure brilliance. For Argentina, this wasn't just a victory, it was a release. He became more than a player. He became D10S, a god.
So, from the age of gods, we move into the age of industry. This is the part of the story where the raw passion of the game smacks right into the cold, hard reality of being a multi-billion-dollar business. You can see the shift pretty clearly here. Fueled by huge TV deals and the glamour of the new Champions League, clubs started to transform.
They went from being social clubs rooted in their local community to becoming massive global brands, where financial success suddenly mattered just as much as what happened on the pitch.
This new era was defined by a rivalry like we have never seen before or since. For over a decade, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo pushed each other to just impossible heights. You had Messi, the quiet genius with sublime, magical control. And then you had Ronaldo, an absolute monument to athletic perfection and a relentless will to win. Honestly, it was unreal to watch.
And while those two dominated the headlines, another revolution was happening. Women's football, a sport that was once literally banned in countries, began this unstoppable climb. And that number, over 91,000 fans packed into Camp Nou, that's not just a record. It's a powerful symbol of decades of struggle finally culminating in massive global recognition.
And yet, today's game faces a kind of existential crisis. With the arrival of VAR and big data analyzing every single pass, you have to wonder, has the quest for perfect decisions and statistical advantages started to chip away at the game's romantic, unpredictable soul?
Which brings us right back to where we started. After all the billions of dollars, the global brands, the complex technology, we have to ask ourselves, what's the part that actually lasts? What really endures?
And at the end of the day, that's the real takeaway. The essence of the game, it's still there, completely untouched. It's not in the technology or the money. It lives on in every dirt lot, on every beach, and in every park where that ancient human instinct to just play comes alive. It's a reminder that this infinite game is and always will be a reflection of us,